Hello, today I'm going to be showing you how to properly clock in, complete a client, and then clock out of that client. As you can see, I've already completed my COVID-19 daily screener. I've also completed one client for today. I'm now going to complete a client scheduled for 11 to 12. For this demonstration, I'm going to be clocking in a little bit early, just so that I can show the proper way of clocking in, completing the tasks, and then clocking out again. By doing this, I'm going to simply click on the client who is still white and not completed for today. Normally, of course, this would be done at the scheduled time. Again, I'm just clicking on them or tapping my finger on the box. It then brings me to this info page. The first thing that I want to do to get to the service task, I'm going to slide my finger from the right to the left by touching the screen and sliding. And I'll go through all these boxes, and as you can see, as I go to a different box, the box that I'm on is highlighted by that white bar underneath. The other way that I can do this is by tapping on that lighter blue box underneath the dark blue, and just simply tapping to the right side on those words or letters, and then sliding from right to left. I can now locate service task and tap it by doing that, like so, and then it'll automatically bring me to service task, which will load. Or again, if I go back about to where I was, I can just keep sliding below that by sliding my finger right to left, and then now I'm on service tasks. As you can see, once this finishes loading, there's nowhere to check at all. So no matter how much I click on these, I now can't complete these tasks, activities, or interventions. That is because I'm not clocked into the client. In my rush to get started, whatever the reason may be, we're human, these things happen. But as I can see, I'm not clocked in. So either from this service task page, I can select the clock in the top right corner, which would bring me to the COVID-19 assessment for the client, or I can simply just slide my finger from the left to the right on the screen to get back to the info screen. And again, I can do this on that top bar, but it's kind of small and it can be difficult sometimes to select and slide on this bar. So now that I'm on the info tab, I'm going to use the green clock to clock in, because again, that small clock in the top right corner caused me the same problem that bar does. I can click up there, but sometimes I don't always tap on that clock. No matter how many times I click on there, in my case, I have big clumsy fingers and it just doesn't work out for me. So it's just a lot easier for me to go back to the info tab and select the green clock in the top left corner. This again will bring me to the COVID-19 assessment screener for the client. Here I'm going to select, ask those to the client, click on the box, and then answer what they said. In this case, I'm going to assume that the client said no to all these. And again, I'm just going to tap on the box after asking the questions and give what their answer was. And again, in this case, I'm just going to choose no. If I do select yes, either on my screener or the client screener, it's going to lock me out of this visit. This is something we're currently working on fixing. It's for the cases in which we know there may be a yes answer, but everyone's already aware of it, and a way to fix this. And now I'm going to hit submit in the top right corner. Because I'm not close to the client due to this just being a demonstration, I'm going to ignore this. This is a warning that you should never get, because you should be at the client when you're doing this. So I'm just going to hit OK to ignore that. Now once it loads, you're going to see a big difference. One, I got a notification that says clocked in at the top, but if I just get rid of this, that top bar that was dark blue where it lists the client's name is now green. That means I'm clocked in. I now want to complete my tasks for this client. So again, I can just slide either using this bar or just sliding from right to left, anywhere is below that, which I'm just going to do because this is a little bit easier for myself. I'm now on the service task for today. As you can see, I now have a chat thought bubble on the right side of the task interventions or activities for today, or I have a small bubble on the right side. The important thing to also note here is you'll see that some of these don't have an asterisk. These are going to be your as needed tasks or various tasks that for whatever reason may not be required for the visit. Those will all have a note underneath them signifying what it is for, if it's as needed, per request, etc. But whatever the reason may be, I do not have to check those off to complete this visit and to be able to clock out. All of the ones that have an asterisk are required for me to complete so that I can, one, complete my visit for today. These are required for the completing of the visit and for clocking out. So a good demonstration of this is Ambulation Assist, the very top one, has no asterisk. That means I do not have to check it or complete. So I can tap it, which may take a few seconds for it to show that I tapped on it. So please be patient with it and don't panic if it doesn't show up right away. Just give it at most 5 to 6 seconds and then it should load that you tapped it, which shows that I've completed it. Or I can just leave it unselected and I'll still be able to clock out and complete my visit for today. The other tasks, which are required, I have to check by just tapping on and letting them get that check mark on the left side. And I can tap on it anywhere as I want to. I can check on where the little bubble is, or I can just tap on the words Ambulation Supervise, and that'll still register as a tap and then check it off. So now I'm just going to go through and complete these tasks. For this demonstration, I'm going to do the ones that are only required for this visit. So I'm just going to say that those tasks that aren't required were never asked of me to do, or there was never a reason to do them that day. So please bear with me as I scroll down and check just the ones with the asterisks that are required of me for this visit. Now, as I do this, let's say I want to add a note. Maybe I needed, maybe the client requested me, or maybe it came up as an as-needed task for today for shopping and events. I'm going to hit this bubble in the top right corner because maybe something happened that I want to add a note for. So maybe I just want to say, couldn't get client's yogurt. Maybe that was something on a list that they provided for me or something they asked me to get. I went to the store to get it. I was able to get everything else they wanted, but not their yogurt. And I just wanted to add a note that was something that I wasn't able to do. Not that this is required, but it's just something that I'm able to do. And I'm going to hit done. That now has the bubble on it, but I did do this, so I'm going to also tap it. I've now completed this event, but it also has that comment now. And I'm going to keep going through here and checking the one with asterisks. Now the other thing that is important to remember here, which I'm going to demonstrate towards the bottom here. So just bear with me for one more moment as I go through these and check the ones that are required for this visit. So now I checked out special care safety precautions, and the only thing left is client signature. I'm going to choose one here that's maybe a little bit better to demonstrate with. So I'm just going to scroll back up to Clyde tie-ins room under housekeeping. This is a required task, but let's say the client refused for whatever reason it may have been to that day. Maybe someone else did it, maybe they didn't want you to do it that day, whatever it may be. So I wasn't able to complete it. So instead of tapping on it and saying that I did it, I'm going to check this chat bubble or thought bubble on the right of it to add a comment. I'm now going to say client refused, or whatever reason it may have been why I was not able to complete this. I'm now going to hit done. As you can see, it has the chat or thought bubble checked off, but I'm not going to check that I did it because I didn't do it today. But because I added the comment and adding the reason why I could not complete it today, it's still going to allow me to clock out of this visit. So now if I scroll back down, which is a good policy anyway, before having the client sign to make sure that I checked everything that I needed to today. So I can just do that by tapping towards the top of the screen and sliding down, and then sliding back down by tapping the bottom of the screen and sliding up. So I can quickly go through these, reviewing them, making sure they're checked off as needed, and then scroll back down before I get the client's signature. Or maybe I want to walk through the client through all of these and make sure that everything's done appropriate, or maybe the client wants me to add a comment on something. I can go back through and do that. Once I've done that, I'm now going to select client signature. This is now going to open up a new page. This is the client able to sign, and then I'm going to click on that. First, I'm going to demonstrate what would happen if the client is unable to sign. So I'm going to hit no. I now have a reason code. I'm going to check this, and it's going to give me a few reasons why I was unable to get the client's signature. If for whatever reason that is not possible to get their signature, I'm just going to hit no, and I'm going to go to the reason code. I'm going to select the reason that's most appropriate to why they weren't able to. But for this case, I'm going to say that they were able to sign. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to choose yes, and under is the client able to sign. It now opens up a client signature box, which has this little box with a pen in it, and I'm going to select that. It's going to change the orientation of the screen to horizontal for easier signing. And then I'm just going to write test and this as their signature, and I'm going to hit done. It'll now bring me back to this page, which gives me a quick overview or a look back into what I just did. I'm going to hit submit in the top right corner. Now, I just want to demonstrate to you as well exactly what I mean, as I scroll back up, regarding the tidy clients room. So for this case, as you can see, I have that checked off. I'm going to now uncheck linen change bed making. Let's say I forgot to check it. I forgot to add a comment why I couldn't complete it, or I just forgot to check it entirely. Now I can try to clock out either by checking that clock now in the green with a little X on it, or I can just simply swipe back to go to the info page, which now gives me a red clock. Now I'm going to select this red clock in the top left corner, ignoring that this is not a warning again that you would get. And it says incomplete. At least one of the tasks is incomplete and is missing a comment. Notice how it has that and is missing a comment selection. I'm going to hit OK here because it asked me would I like to complete it now. It's now going to bring me back to the service task page. Now, it's not going to bring me back to the specific task in which I didn't complete, I believe. So I may have to scroll up or down to find the task that has the asterisk that's required for completion today. So let's say I was at the beginning of the page or the bottom of the page, and I'm just scrolling down nice and slow to find which one I didn't do. I see tidy clients room is not done, but I have the comment. But below it I see linen change and bed making is also not done, but is a required task. It has no comment, and I did not check it off as complete. And again, let's say the same thing happened. I wasn't able to clean the tiny room. Maybe the client just simply said, I don't want you going into my bedroom today. So I'm just going to add the comment again. I'm going to say client refused, or whatever the reason may be. And I'm going to hit done. Now again, I can hit this clock in the top right corner, which will allow me to clock in. But again, for this case, I'm just going to slide back to the info screen. And I'm going to hit that red clock in the top right corner, top left corner. Ignoring this warning, because this is not a warning you will get, I'm now able to clock out. And now, just to show you exactly what that means by not checking off it complete but adding the chat bubble. As you can see under service tasks, there's an X on the left side, but the chat bubble is complete. So they know, the office staff and the nurse staff, whoever may review this, that for whatever reason I wasn't able to complete this required task, but I added the comment as to why. They can then click on the chat bubble to see the comment. Now, as you notice, I clocked out. The green highlight in the top changed back to the dark blue, but I'm still on the client. Whether I clocked out on service tasks or clocked out on the info tab, I'm still on the client page. This doesn't mean I'm still clocked into the client. All I have to do is hit the back button in the top left corner, that little arrow, and it brings me back to my scheduled screen. This task is completed for the day. This visit was completed for today. And as you can see, that is now highlighted blue with a check mark on it, letting me know that it was completed. And that'll be all for today. Thank you.